Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Gamers for Hope, and more specifically, Gamers Against Cancer 2026. We are raising money for the Stand Up to Cancer Foundation. And if you want to make a donation, you have the pinned comment at the top of the chat there. We have already raised $1,187.84, which is absolutely wonderful. I'm Howling Mad Boy. You've just seen me poorly playing Prince of Persia. But I am not here to talk about Prince of Persia anymore. I am here to give a brief recap as to the events of the closing of kind of day 1.5. It's a bit difficult. We start in the afternoon on day one and we kind of transition. It's difficult, but it's the end. We are coming up towards the end of the first full day of Gamers Against Cancer, but we still have many, many, many more runs to go. But before we do that, we're just going to have a little recap as to some of the things we have seen today. And my word, have we had some really, really fun runs going on today. We saw personal highlights for myself include the Secret of Mana randomizer that we had earlier from One Free Fits. We also had the Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past by Keeps Gaming, and I will always say it may change depending on the day of the week, but A Link to the Past will always be in my top 3 greatest games ever made. We've also had some really lovely and interesting games like Flower. Of course, we got to see Chrono Trigger. Donut County, a very, very fun game from Claire Delalin. And as you just saw, we had Breath of the Wild not too long ago. So it's all been a really, really, really awesome day. And of course, we had Organ with Planet Diver. Apologies if I didn't mention you. It's not because I didn't like your run. It's probably because I was asleep during it. So, because here in the UK, it's just gone 4:35 a.m. Yeah, I'm not usually up at this time in the morning, but for charity, I'm willing to set the alarm clock. But I would just like to start to once again just thank everyone who has donated so far. We have had a lot of lovely, lovely people make donations, and I'm just going to give a shout out to our current top 10. We have at number 10 Ender with $50. In number 9 we have Alan with $50. In number 8 we have Adam Rice with $50. In number 7 we have Nanny with $50. In number 6 we have exclamation mark YT with $50. In 5th place we have Tails with $50. In 4th place, we have Bill Nye with $50. I suppose we can class all of those as tied for 4th place, really, but they all donated $50. Thank you very much. In 3rd place, we have a definitive 3rd place with, once again, a tied 2nd place with Sarah's Rose with $100. And in 2nd place, we have Sister of Clag with $100. But still remaining top of our leaderboard is Steve Owen with $250 donated. So thank you to not just them, but everyone who has donated so far to this event. And for those of you not aware, we are raising money for Stand Up to Cancer. They are a foundation that looks to provide initial cancer. They look to provide cancer research to find not just the cure, but with a specific focus on early stage detection, because as all of us who have known somebody who has had cancer or indeed has even possibly had it ourselves, we all know that cancer is very treatable, but the best kind of treatment you can get is when it is found early. So they look to ensure that the correct facilities and medical scanning and treatments are in place that we can detect cancer as soon as possible. Because as I said, the sooner you know it's there, the sooner you can start doing everything you can to start kicking its backside. So if you can donate, please do. It's an incredible charity. And as far as I'm aware, I stand to be corrected, but I believe 100% of the money they receive goes directly towards actually funding cancer research. They're not one of these, I'm not going to throw any specific name or shade, but they're not one of these charities that have executives on exorbitant salaries who suck a lot of the money out of the charities. They throw, I believe, as I said, all of the money to making sure that it all goes towards cancer research. And as I said, this event has taken on a very particular and specific feeling for me, because my father-in-law passed away from cancer last month, and we've been having to, my wife and I have been having to sort all of that out, and it's not pleasant. It was fortunately in some respects very, very quick, unexpected, but it's very important that we fight cancer, because cancer can be beat. I promise you that. And I believe we will we have come a massive way in the last 50 years in terms of cancer treatment. We have made massive strides medically, but there is still a long way to go. And as I've said before, the problem with any kind of medical treatment or solution is that they're all just massive vacuums of money. To solve these problems, we have to throw lots and lots of money at it, to pay very, very talented people to do their utmost best to find ways to making sure that cancer is eradicated. And speaking of amazing causes, for those of you possibly new to Gamers for Hope, this is one of two events that we run throughout the year. And later this year, we will have Gamers Against Suicide 2026. That will probably be around the I would leave it to 10IQ to confirm it exactly. That will probably be holding that late autumn, and that is also a massively important cause in my heart, because, and it's why I like Gamers for Hope. It's why I do offer a lot of support to this event, because between cancer and suicide, they are probably the two highest causes of death for people, and it is something that all of us here will have dealt with, if not directly, then certainly indirectly. So, and there is absolutely no reason at all in this day and age why we should be tolerating either anymore, quite frankly. I will just say, on the subject of Gamers Against Suicide, if you are in any dark places, having any dark thoughts, please do reach out to people. There are masses of resources available, and there are phone numbers you can call, and you can, just before you get too deep and dark down that rabbit hole, just talk to somebody. It doesn't have to be somebody you know. As I said, there are phone lines, there are online chats. There are groups and places dedicated to making sure that you can have somebody to talk with. And as we all know, a problem share is a problem halved. And I'm not trying to downplay. As somebody who has had depression when I was very much younger, I know that it can be a very, very hard thing to get through and work through. But there is always light at the end of the tunnel. So please do reach out if you need any help in that regard. But as I said, that is why I like Gamers for Hope. The two charities and the two causes we raise money for are very, very, very important. But we are going now on a far more positive note, because I said we have raised nearly $1,200, and that is just incredible, and there are still plenty more runs to go. And do not forget, in terms of your donation incentives, that we still have the buzz cut. Yes, I believe 10IQ will be having a buzz cut live on camera if we hit the $1,400 mark. As I jokingly said during my Prince of Persia run, not so much a threat to myself, but well, maybe if I had to shave my beard off, I would quite miss my beard, to be honest. I've had the beard I've had a beard now for longer than I haven't, so I would probably quite miss having one. But yeah, please do see that we hit that 1,400 mark, and I believe as well, if we hit $1,200, I can stand to be corrected on this, which were only, let's see, a quick math in my head, $12.16 away from. That will have seen Gamers for Hope in the last 2 years have raised over $10,000 for our amazing causes here. So if you want, you can be the person that snipes us over that $1,200 mark, and you will officially have the unofficial crown. We're not posting you anything to say that you are the person that officially got Gamers for Hope over the $10,000 mark. But let's look ahead to some of the runs we've got coming up today. Once I've concluded here, we have the Elephant Collection from King Xavier. Yes, for those of you, I believe we've seen King Xavier run the Elephant Collection at prior Gamers for Hope events, but it is such a fun and entertaining run. And I think the last time, and I'm fairly sure that the actual creator of the game, I always get this the wrong way around, forgive me if they are lurking, it's JBM or JMT02, JBT02. The actual creator of the game turned up on the channel, and that was just absolutely incredible. For those of you who don't know, they were very, very big in the early days of Flash gaming, particularly Armor games and places like that. If you've ever played something like a Hedgehog launch, you've played something that they actually made, and the Elephant Collection has become essentially their pet project over the last few years, because it was originally a Flash game, but now they've polished it up. It is available on Steam as well, by the way. I always feel like giving that a shout out, because I said it is just wonderful that the person who actually made the game turned up to check it out. Coming up after that, we also have the King of Fighters 96. We're going very, very, very retro in terms of arcade fighters here. Many consider the King of Fighters to actually be the franchise, to be one of the best fighting series game ever made. And it's always kind of been on the fringe. It's always been outshone by things like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. But the King of Fighters is very, very, very entertaining. And it was a very slick fighter game for when it came out. After that, King Xavier is back. He's got the essentially the midnight block, it would appear, because he's back with World of Warcraft, the Exile's Reach starting area. That is him effectively speedrunning the Exile's Reach part of the game. And again, very, very entertaining. World of Warcraft, probably with the only exception of Minecraft, one of the most popular games ever made. Coming up after that, we have DBK, and my word, does DBK love their Japanese games. It's Samurai Warriors 2 Empires, with a lot of kanji that came before it. Fortunately, it has the title in English as well, so I was able to muddle my way through that. Then we have Super Metroid Rise from Linkermeister. 32% category. That sounds very specific. And we have Itzbringer with Project Zomboid, tailoring percent. And I have played Project Zomboid. That is a very difficult game. And Linkermeister is then back with Junkoid. That's a 100% run. That they certainly seem to like their percentage runs. And then we have some Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Who doesn't love a bit of Crash? And then as we move into what will be the early hours for you stateside, we have Sentinels of the Multiverse. Yes, Organ Mike is going to be back. I do love Organ Mike. We have What the Car by Auclair Delalin. We have Barbie Horse Trails. I'm somewhat always suspicious whenever I see a Barbie game in the schedule that it's not run by somebody we know here on this side of the pond called Yatogami NL. He is a very, very well-liked speedrunner who always seems for some reason to run Barbie games. And then coming up, we have The Last of Us Left Behind from Its Page. Yes, Its Page is back again with The Last of Us Left Behind. And then we start mooching on into our final day of the event. So we have lots of absolutely incredible runs to come through. If I was to probably take a little stab, as I said, the next few hours at the very least are just solid gold. So if you can, I know we are moving into the wee small hours of the morning stateside, but if you can, stick with us, watch that. And yes, I can see the donations chat. You'll have to forgive me. Our Tiltify is being a little bit slow and sluggish in giving me updates, but we have a $20 donation from Anonymous with the comment 07. So yes, 07. Thank you. I should probably give you the more British salute, but there we go. And that has officially took us over the $1,200 mark. And I think that has finally now got us Gamers for Hope for over $10,000 raised over our last 2 years. So thank you, Anonymous. That was very kind of Anonymous. You could have given us your name, but it would appear that they want to remain, as the comment would suggest quite rightly, anonymous, unless that is their actual username. If it is, then they are the most prolific donator any event has ever seen. But thank you for that donation. We have hit the $1,200 mark, and as I said, we have now officially topped over $10,000 in the last 2 years. And do not forget, Gamers for Hope, relatively speaking, is quite a new event, so we are very, very, very proud that we have already hit that figure. But there is still much more to go. But thank you for that donation. That is absolutely incredible. So yes, if we can see some 07s in chat, in honor of Anonymous for hitting us over that mark, and everyone who has donated so far. But please do keep them coming in. We do have the pinned comment at the top of the chat. But I've been Howling Mad Mike. We are going to start wrapping things up here because we need to start prepping for the next run, which, as I just mentioned, will be the Elephant Collection. As I said, if you haven't seen this before, please do. I know it is getting quite late over in the United States and Canada. I should mention Canada as well. We have a lot of Canadian supporters amongst us. Sorry, it's just always typical that America is over the pond to us more than Canada. And we love Canada. We love everyone. But please do stick around. Check that out. It's a very entertaining run. But you're watching Gamers for Hope, Gamers Against Cancer 2026. We're going to go into a brief intermission whilst we set that up. Please do keep donating. But for the moment, we'll be right back after a short break. But take care and enjoy what's coming up next.